Both excited?
Yeah.
All right, hold up.
1, 2, 2.
Good night, greetings everybody. We are G-Syndicate, and tonight is vibes as we syndicate you vibes, you know. You're gonna be hearing some songs off our upcoming EP. Think it's gonna be nice. So right about now, we're starting with this one. Ready to blow? So are you ready to go? So are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Oh, ready to blow, ready to blow. Oh, so let me go.
Ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go, let's go. Ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go.
It's time to start the party. Sometimes we be getting dirty. This time we're starting this thing right. Hey, so just kick off your shoes. It's no time to feel the blues. So baby, we gonna do our thing tonight. Oh, leave the work at home, leave the stress alone. Toss away your worries. Ain't got no time for that, baby. Now you got the chance. Lose your fears, just dance. We're gonna rock this party. Just raise your hands if you're ready.
Ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go, let's go. Ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go, let's go. Ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go, let's go. Ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go.
It's time for you to be free. Let's just enjoy the party tonight. We just gonna ease our mind. So just live on the wall, 'cause we're not gonna step on all in the way. Just leaving all our fears behind. So leave the work at home, leave the stress alone. Toss away your worries. Ain't got no time for that, baby. Now you got the chance. Lose your fear, just dance. We're gonna rock this party. Just raise your hands if you're ready.
Ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go, let's go. Ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go, let's go. Ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go, let's go. Ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go.
Let the music take control. Let it seep into your soul. When the bass line starts pulsating, feel the stress evaporate. Let it bring me to your mind. There could be no better time to get on the floor, 'cause we're just ready to blow. Ready to blow, start up the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark on the trombone.
Start up the show, get on the floor, let's go, let's go. Ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go, let's go. Ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go, let's go. Ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go, let's go. Ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go, let's go. Ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go, let's go.
Give it up for Mark, y'all.
So let me go. Ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go, let's go.
Ready to blow,
ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go, let's go. Ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go, let's go. Ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go. Ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go, let's go. Ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go, let's go. Ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go, let's go. Ready to blow, start up the show, get on the floor, let's go.
Yes, folks, good night one more time. We are G-Syndicate. This next song we're going to do for you, you can find it on our upcoming EP called Revive. We released it last year, and we're ready to rock. This one is called Chemistry.
Hey girl. Hey girl.
grooving. Sweet Calico, honey bar, good looking. The way how you're moving, put me in a mood, I'm glad to see you. Your waistline on the baseline, so attractive, I wanna be a captive. I see a smile on your face now, so beautiful, I know you're original.
So come wind up on me, I wanna see if you got good chemistry. And come push back for me, don't hold back, girl, just be free. Love when you're dance and show off, show off. You have my attention, girl, you're sweet up. Dance with me, baby, step out, step out. Just keep it moving, cause we're still moving. I love when you dance and show off, show off. You have my attention, girl, you're sweet up. Dance with me, baby, step out, step out. Just keep it moving, cause we're still grooving. We're still grooving. We're still grooving. We're still grooving.
Come talk to me, girl, cause you're intelligent and you run the world. And let me say face to face, know you feel the tension, just had to mention. Your brown eyes, shining bright, so gorgeous and glowing like sunlight. I hear your voice, angelic eyes, so amazing, I wanna keep this going.
So come wind up on me, I wanna see if you got good chemistry. And come push back on me, don't hold back, girl, just be free. I love when you dance and show off, show off. You have my attention, girl, you're sweet off. Dance with me, baby, step out, step out. Just keep it moving, cause we're still grooving. I love when you dance and show off, show off. You have my attention, girl, you're sweet off. Dance with me, baby, step out, step out. Just keep it moving, cause we're still grooving. Still grooving. Still grooving. Still grooving.
Hey, girl, I wanna take you home with me.
And hey, girl, sugar energy, yeah.
Hey, girl, I wanna treat you right, you see, you see, you see.
Hey, just the two of us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
Just the two of us. Building castles in the sky, just the two of us. You and I. What you won't do for love. You try everything, but you won't give up. What you won't do for love. You try everything, but you won't give up. So come wind up on me, I wanna see if you got good chemistry. And come push back on me, don't hold back, girl, just be free. Love your dance and show off, show off. You have my attention, girl, you're sweet off. Dance with me, baby, step out, step out. Just keep it moving, come and turn grooving. I love your dance and show off, show off. You have my attention, girl, you're sweet off. Dance with me, baby, step out, step out. Just keep it moving, come and turn grooving. I love your dance and show off, show off. You have my attention, girl, you're sweet off. Dance with me, baby, step out, step out. Just keep it moving, we're still moving. I love your dance and show off, show off. You have my attention. Dance with me, baby.
Step out, step out.
Just keep it moving, but we're still grooving. We're still grooving. Still grooving. Still grooving. Yeah.
The next selection is entitled Englishman in New York, a song made famous by Sting in the 80s. Hope you enjoy.
I don't drink coffee, I drink tea, my tea. I like my toasted on one side. You can hear it in my accent when I talk. I'm an Englishman in New York. See me walking down Fifth Avenue, a walking king here at my side. I take it everywhere I walk. I'm an Englishman in New York. Oh, I'm an alien. I'm a legal alien. I'm an Englishman in New York. Oh, I'm an alien. manners make it man, as someone said, he's a hero of the day. It takes a man to suffer ignorance and smile. Be yourself, no matter what they say. Oh, I'm an alien. I'm a legal alien. I'm an Englishman in New York. Englishman in New York. Oh, I'm an alien. I'm a legal alien. I'm an Englishman in New York. Modesty's propriety can lead to notoriety. You could end up as the only one. Gentleness, sobriety, are rare in this society. At night a candle's brighter than the sun. In New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made up. There's nothing you can do. In New York, there's more than combat gear to make a man. There's more than a license for a gun. Confront your enemies, avoid them when you can. A gentleman will walk but never run. If manners make it man, and someone said, he's a hero of the day. It takes a man to suffer ignorance and strive. Be yourself, no matter what they say.
We know you sing at home.
Oh, I'm an alien. I'm a legal alien. I'm an Englishman in New York. Oh, I'm an alien. I'm a legal alien. I'm an Englishman in New York. Englishman in New York City. I'm an alien. I'm a legal alien. I'm an Englishman in New York. Englishman in New York. Oh, I'm an alien. I'm a legal alien. I'm an Englishman in New York.
Now, growing up in the 90s, I would have loved these songs. I'm sure those of you that know them will love them as well. So we got two songs coming up for you. We got I Wanna Know by Joe and Someone to Love by John B. and Babyface. Hope you guys enjoy.
It's amazing how you knock me off my feet. Every time you come around me, I get weak. Oh. Nobody ever made me feel this way. No. You kiss my lips and then you take my breath away. So I wanna know what turns you on. Yeah, I wanna know, so I can be all that and more. And I'd like to know what makes you cry. Oh, so I can be the one to always make you smile. Girl, he never understood what you were with. No. And he never took the time to make it worse. Deserve more loving, girl. Baby, I'm the kind of man who shows consent. Yes, I do. Any way that I can please you, let me learn. So I wanna know what turns you on. Yeah, and I wanna know, so I can be all that and more. And I'd like to know.
Warning. What you are about to hear goes against traditional romantic counsel expressed by friends, family, and Instagram memes and quotes. Open-mindedness is advised.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, and welcome to another edition of the Senate Podcast. I'm your host, Neil Jones, my brother from another mother, and your host, Derek.
I said, hold up, wait a minute. All alone, but her alone so south. Bruh. Hell no, no. Nothing, wait a minute. Nothing! Ain't nobody got time for that. Stop the cap. Oh my God! She belongs to the streets. They come a contaminated environment. Any two tools about that?
Yeah, here.
I like the fact that, it's so being a get her take no, but she belongs to the streets. I love it. Anyhow, my brother. How you doing, my brother? How is life? How is everything living? Are you all right?
Yeah, I am well. I am always well. Here abiding, as what people would say. Life could try to get you down sometimes, but you press on. They hold in firm, like Sizzler. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hold in firm.
Just keep going forward.
And then, of course, we have, it seemed to like her on the show. I don't know.
Yeah.
We got the doctor. Again, Dr. Gary.
I am well. Hi. Nice to see you guys.
Yes. And we are here. And of course, we got to talk a bit. We got to do some housekeeping. How's everybody doing? First things first. Priya, Aston, Cherish. We got Steve, Bougie Van Man. And we got my Ramel Peoples. All the way down over in a way. What's going on, people? What's going on? So let's do the whole housekeeping thing first. Derek, let's talk about G-Syndicate, the premier acapella crew in the Western Hemisphere. Please enlighten the folks that don't know anything about good music.
Yeah, but we had a great rehearsal last night. The boys preparing to be at the Sage Bar. You're gonna be there on October 6th as a Friday night. So bring your wife, bring your girlfriend, bring both if you're feeling
froggy.
Bring both. We gonna be there. We gonna nice up. Be sure, fellas, something good. Shout out Kia Malveda, Mark, Brett, Hugh. We coming up in there. We gonna crank for 2 hours. The doors open sometime before 9, but we starting at 9, right? So come and get space early so that you can ensure that you don't miss the man when we start to really get down in it. Yeah, you can find us G-Syndicate6.com. I sent you the thing near. If you could put up on screen for me, that'd be fantastic.
Get out there. So quick.
But yeah, you can find us at G-Syndicate6.com. You can find us here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and SoundCloud at G-Syndicate6. You can also find us in Instagram at G-Syndicate6. But of course, you gotta spell out the 6 over there. So come on through. Check us out. We don't bite. Let's see what want us to.
Right. Let me get the Sage Bar here. So let me get this here. We got to plug the main, man. We got to plug good music, good people. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, as Derek said, you could check out on October 6th, Friday, 9 p.m. doors open. The Sage Bar and Stage, G-Syndicate Live, Maxwell Main Road is the place. I was told already that I will be in attendance. I seem to have no idea whole by the scruff of my neck. I was told I can be in attendance, so I will be there. This is just it's as simple as that. It ain't really in a complication. You know what I mean? So come on out, people, and let me have a good time, listen to good music and vibe. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, we are indeed the Senate Podcast. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit notification bell so you don't miss anything. We do content for you 5 days a week. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We have the Senate Shorts. Y'all have been killing it recently with the Senate Shorts. A lot of likes, a lot of views, and a lot of comments. I really do appreciate the engagement there because, as we try to bring, there is the Geraldo and there is the network. So we try to, I'm the producer, so we try to bring, as much news of the streets as possible, right? So
that's all it really is, Neil. We are reporters.
That's all we are.
We all don't make the news. We can't report it.
Okay, that's what I mean. So, check out the Senate Shorts, and then of course we have Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Barbados time. We have the live show, this space, the Senate Podcast, the Don Dipsy Doodle space, as we like to call it, where we talk about things a bit more seriously, and we are a bit more forthright and upfront and direct when we speak about things here in this space. And of course, that is a perfect segue to what we are talking about tonight. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about boys and girls. Shout out my man Snow, Jason and the Crank. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you know, there's so many things. Look, they got so many things happening, right? Like at some point, we had to go away from the fan submission and actually try to make like content in certain segments that we could talk. There's so many things to talk about. So much so, Derek, we talked about things on Saturday. Derek was like, "Oh, I just waiting. Mama accumulate him like a villain, right?" Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about Brittany Renner. Now, she's a patron saint of the podcast. Everybody knows Brittany Renner. She is one of the elite, what they call patron saints. Yeah. And tonight we're talking.
She the top of the upper echelon.
Yeah, she had the upper echelon of the saints, right? The wall is what we're talking about tonight. What can ladies learn from Brittany Renner and her latest episode? Now, for those of you who don't know, Brittany Renner is wilding. I'm gonna hand it over to Derek now and let him talk about it. But Brittany, out of pocket, can't done here.
Brittany doing Brittany things, you know. As soon as we clean tonight.
Yeah. We got things clean tonight. Yeah.
For the most part, you know, we try to keep it that way.
Is the doctor? The doctor come and bring the blessings.
Yeah. We had to make sure we sort out and got the doc in order.
Yeah, pristine.
So what I want us to do tonight, because as Neva said, you know, we had so much stuff kick up. Well, we were on our little break, an avoidable break it was. That we were trying to just get through them with the fan submission nights, but this one, you know, Brittany's a gift that keeps on giving. So
much like herpes.
You said it, I did it, you know. So we had to kind of pause that to deal with this particular topic and extrapolate some more serious stuff so we can digress a little bit. You know, people want to talk about Steve Harvey and all that, and you know, I still don't know how true the rumors are. I think that I find it to be just rumors, so that's why we haven't touched that. But I think I will use it as an example of some other things, so we might get into that at some point too. Who knows? But yeah, it felt it necessary to have a go at this one. So let's have a watch of this intro video, and then let's come back.
All right, Dr. Carey, you have the necessary paraphernalia. All right, let's get it. Let's get it in 3, 2, 1. Hey, player.
Hey, ladies, how are you? Well, I'm gonna call my twin, and I just want to let y'all know: be toxic for the rest of your 20s. You only get one life. Live your toxic 20s. You never get to be 20 years old, 21, 22, 23, 24, none of that ever again in your life. Be toxic, because don't get in your 30s thinking you could just go slashing tires and doing all this crazy shit. You too old for that now. You too mature. Be toxic for the rest of your 20s. And if you delusional, turn that shit up a notch. Enjoy the rest of your 20s. You only get to do this shit one time.
Yeah. You got to be toxic while seeing life.
One time in your life, you know, just be toxic. Up the thing.
Up the fuck.
That was Glorilla. I still on camera, Neil, by any chance?
You did, my brother. Everything is clean in 1080p. High definition.
Good stuff. Yeah, so that was Glorilla. A couple months ago, Glorilla. She sings a song. Sorry. She has an offering. She has an offering that's purports to be a song by the name of F and Jigger Free, right? FNF.
FNF.
Right? And apparently she's all the rage now in the US and stuff like that. And a couple months ago, she was on an interview and she was not aware that foxes were real animals, right?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
He was
Yeah,
not aware.
Yeah. I remember that. I saw that video.
Foxes were real animals, and I find it's necessary to say it because these are the women that have platforms, and these are the women to whom other women will listen, right? So, anyway, let's get into it. In these male-centered spaces, the concept of the wall is one that comes up often. The wall represents, for those of you who don't know, who just tuning in to the first time, this is episode what, 234, Neil?
234. That's right, my son.
234. This is the wall.
My brother.
Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Hit the like button, that's the cost of admission, right? So for those of you who are tuning in tonight for the very first time, out of the 574 subscribers, so 2 of you have joined since Tuesday. We appreciate that. Thank you. The wall represents that point in a woman's life when she can no longer attract and keep a man that she really wants. We're not talking about any arbitrary man for whom she settles. That is not the man we're talking about. No, please. We're talking about the guy that ticks all the boxes, right? So let me start from there. Now, there's a solid wall, ladies and gents, at the end of the strong, independent woman who don't need no man, the toxic hot girl summer era. And unfortunately, hitting that wall is as inevitable and inexorable as death and taxation for women who strive to live that kind of life. The only way to avoid the wall is to get out of these streets. Let me get Future up in here. Get out the streets and into a committed long-term relationship or marriage. And I say or marriage because given how marriage disadvantages men, you know, men are reluctant to enter into that particular legal contract. So they prefer to go a long-term relationship instead, even if they refer to the woman as wifey, right? And then common law still come around, cut your tail in the end, because we're married woman, but that's another story, right? Whenever we get into an accident of any kind, invariably is because we didn't apply the brakes in time, either inadvertently or deliberately. We were going down a path and we didn't get off that path or apply the brakes soon enough to stop until we ran into something. A tree, a person, another vehicle, or in tonight's case, a wall. Brittany Renner is the case study of this very thing. We all remember, for those of you who are uninitiated, we all remember Brittany from this famous video she did years ago. Run the video for us, Neil. Let's hear Brittany's advice to the young ladies.
All right, let's get it in 3, 2, 1.
I want to know my body count. I don't know why in like 2018 that's any of your fucking business or why it matters. But 24. 11 athletes. Woo! 5 entertainers. Woo! 8 regular guys. Woo! I've only fucked 3 regular guys since I've been Instagram famous because a lot of y'all run your fucking mouths too much. I don't want to be sending you a video 1 minute, the next minute I see me spread eagle on the timeline playing with my pussy. In my experience, the worst people to deal with are the athletes. None of them use condoms, really. So if y'all really want to try to come up off a check off a man, I mean, you could just fuck an athlete. They're really dumb.
There she is in all her splendor.
That is Brittany, right? In all her glory there, offering her sage advice. And again, these are the people to whom women tend to listen, right? Many men don't take these people seriously, these kind of women seriously, and we do not take our cues and our advice from pop stars and IG stars and that kind of thing, right? Women are more inclined to listen to people like Brittany Renner. Now, y'all remember when Brittany was on an apology tour and a redemption tour, if you want to call it, earlier this year? Mm-hmm. She was saying stuff like this. Run this next couple of videos for us, Neil.
Let's get it.
I loved the experiences that we had, that normalcy. Like, we're getting tacos and you're holding my hand, like, in public, and we're hanging out with your friends, and your friends remind me of my friends, and I'm like, this is what I want. And talking to him, I was like, I don't need a guy who's in the league. I don't need a rapper. I just want someone genuine. I don't care what that looks like. I'm one of the OG Instagram girls. Like, you know what I mean? There's a handful of us. But it feels like even if athlete, rapper, or someone in the industry, that most likely won't be a monogamous, committed, devoted relationship like I clearly feel between you guys. But okay, let me lean into the other direction. He doesn't have to be any of that. I still have to question his motives. Like, I always use this example, but it's like, you date someone who's maybe not in that light, but what happens when that light is shining on them? And now they're getting thousands of bitches, because every man I've ever put on my page got hundreds of bitches. Bitches that would have never have even wrote them are writing them because that's the dick I'm sitting on. I want to be equivalent to Brittany Renner. So even if you take a normal guy, I hate that term, but a normal guy, okay, so what happens when you put him in an abnormal situation? Win. And quite frankly, why it's hard for me to, I can't see it because I'm not meant to see it right now. I'm just meant to keep flipping the page and living my life, right? But it feels impossible because who's going to sign up for me? Who's going to, let me finish.
No, I'm just thinking.
Who's going to have the courage to love unapologetically, to tune out all of that noise? She's a whore. She's going to use you. You're such a simp. Who as a man? And you know, I've told you 30 people, doesn't matter if it's 30 or 300. I've said certain things publicly that I'm going to stand on. What man is going to feel secure enough to date me, feel good enough to be my man, to not feel inadequate and want to talk to other bitches? It's so multi-layered to where it's like, it's not, people think it's someone in the industry or not. They think it's that simple. It's not.
You want, sorry, excuse me. You want number 5 as well? All right, let me get number 5 here. So
You've been through a lot. I've been through a lot. I'm seen as used goods. You're seen as a high value man. Yep. So if you're me, then what?
Come on, Brittany. That was quick, but yes. So that's 5, yeah.
Right. So you heard that, right? Well, you heard her. A couple of things came out in those clips when she was talking to Anton Daniels. Big up Anton Daniels and his show. And one of the things that struck me is when she said, you know, essentially she's putting on people. Women want to be like her because so they can deal with this man because that's the dick she's sitting on. As she so eloquently put it. That's the dick she's sitting on. Women want to be like her. You know what I mean? So here we have that sense of entitlement. And then she asked the question at the end, which man is going to sign up for her? And the amazing thing about it is somebody did sign up for her, but we can get to that in a minute, right? Now, remember when we talked about this redemption tour, because we were showing these clips before, when we spoke about this redemption tour earlier this year, I told you guys that this was a front that wouldn't last as long as a snow cone in hell, right? I had an ex that would tell you the facade always cracks, and indeed it does. So recently, Brittany made an appearance on the Danza Project podcast with the king of ghettoism and ratchetrousness, Charleston White. And this, folks, is what went down. If you have sensitive ears nearby, just some language coming. Yeah. You may have got to turn them from the screen for this first clip, right?
All right, let's get it in 3, 2, 1.
It'll be wet. You know, moist is one thing, but wet is just another. It ain't what we shooting for. You know what I mean?
You mean what?
Isn't that Miss Ma'am?
No.
No,
come on, please. Come on, man, please.
No.
Come on, man, please.
I need you to be kind and respectful to my guests. Where that pig poker at, man? Go ahead and get the pig poker out. Wait a minute.
Oh, goodness.
Wait a minute. I didn't did nothing for that.
Oh, man, please.
Oh, that's no, wait a minute. Miss Renner, Miss Renner, Miss Renner.
All right, chill. There's a lot of equipment in here. Why'd you get water poured on you?
We sauced up.
What I missed?
For behaving. That's for to be.
All right. Landon, the stream is now for fucking private. Put it private. What did you do to get water poured on you?
I was just being myself, player.
Okay.
Man, it's fucking soft. Oh.
Ma'am, I did nothing but bless you. I called you nothing but ma'am and Miss Renner.
All right. I left for it.
Wrong guy.
Shut the fuck up. This right here.
Face, dog.
You want the other one or?
Let's get the next one. Brace, folks. Brace. Let's get the other one.
Hold on tight, ladies and gentlemen. Dot. Let's get it.
Here's about to go. Let me tell you something.
We good.
Shut up
We good,
when
we
I'm
good.
fucking talking.
No, seriously, yo, come on.
Yo, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit you. I meant to hit that nigga. Because you sitting over here laughing.
All right, chill. Relax.
I ain't chilling.
Relax.
Because at the end of the day, it ain't your pussy. Hey, listen. I hear you.
Nah, that ain't cool, lady. For real. I'm not part of this.
Hey, listen. That's fine. But guess what? You protecting him is what it is. Is it not? Is it not? Is it not?
She hit the wrong nigga,
Hey,
champ.
don't be sitting over there laughing. Let me tell you, I ain't talking to you. I ain't talking to him right here. I ain't talking about. Then bat me in my shit. Then
Champ, she cool.
bat me in my shit.
Apologies, champ.
Bat me in my shit.
I don't hit women, yo.
All right, then shut the
Shannon
fuck
Briggs
up.
right here. Trip it out. We're good.
Apologies, champ.
At the end of the day, all right, I don't give a fuck you talking about lady. I don't care. At the end of the day, nobody knows what I went through. Nobody knows what I'm going through. So nobody, you, him, whoever the fuck, you don't get to sit here and talk about shit. Ain't nobody drunk bitch talking about nothing.
We family
What's up?
here. We family here.
What's up?
We family here.
The realities of modern life make it tougher than ever to.
There's a commercial. Got to get rid of that commercial and then they had a commercial in, so that's not us. Anyhow, we continue.
She aight, champ. She aight, champ.
No, we family.
He said you all right.
I ain't no fucking security, bitch.
I don't give a fuck what you talking about.
Come on, champ.
Bat me in my shit then.
It's all good.
Bat me in my shit then.
Come on.
Then shut the fuck up.
Chill.
Everybody
Let's
hit your
relax.
motherfucking buzzer, bitch.
All right, let's reset the room. Let's reset the room.
It is what
guys.
it is.
Let's reset the room.
It
guys.
is what it is.
Everybody cool, guys. Everybody cool.
It is what it is.
We family here, guys.
Hey, shut the fuck up.
We family here, guys.
You don't like Brittany Renner. Brittany Renner, we fuck with her. Shut
Who's got
the
music
fuck up.
playing? All right. Let's relax. Let's reset the room for a second.
Nah, don't reset.
Right. So just real quick, for those of you that don't understand what was going on there, that segment right there, she was speaking about things to do with PJ Washington and things that she's going through. And
Yeah, I can get there.
Sorry. Go ahead, damn it, brother. Go ahead.
Mental
Enjoy your
health,
life.
everybody.
Mhm.
Yeah. Shout out to mental health. And the thing is, folks, that was the tip of the iceberg. I kind of spared you guys the other details. What those clips did not highlight, as Neil had alluded to just now, was when she spoke about how she gained 50 pounds because of childbirth, and how her vagina had a second-degree tear during said childbirth. I spared you guys hearing that and hearing her wailing like a banshee, no real apparent reason during said interview. There is one thing I can say for Fresh and Fit. I don't really say much about them or in their defense. A woman behaving like this, probably not her, but a woman behaving like this would have been ejected. These men did not do that for whatever reason.
I know the reason, because that's clicks and views on that's live, so that's more views. So
there was a former heavyweight champion boxer When she threw the water across the room, he got hit. He was not having it at all. And it required everybody else trying to calm him down to, prevent an incident. And it must also be noted that this meltdown came and the show went off the rails only after she was made aware of the fact that her baby daddy, NBA player PJ Washington, has signed a 3-year, $48 million deal with the Charlotte Hornets the day before that very interview.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think that Brittany regrets not making it work with PJ Washington, put some ones in the chat. What we witnessed just now is a woman who has finally recognized that the wall is right there. She knows on it. The wall is right there. She's not coping well at all. What she probably also realized, especially when she got the news about her baby daddy, is that PJ Washington was the best that she could get. And she fumbled him. So now it seems she has realized that she has no brakes. And she's not exactly driving a Flintstone car where she can put down her feet and make it stop. Yeah, put up and scream for the folks.
You're there already.
She is heading for the wall fast and furious like Vin Diesel. And guess what, folks? There is no life. The wall. Now, don't get me wrong. Brittany is still attractive enough to catch somebody's eye, maybe. I mean, shoot, the other day she was seen out on the tongue with Shaq only a few weeks ago. But in terms of attracting someone for a long-term relationship, those days are over for Brittany. And after you see episodes like that, most definitely those days are over. Rich man, shoot, if you are in the chat, are you signing up for that woman like that, fellas? Say yes, amen in the chat, right? This is the consequence for ladies who subscribe to the foolishness and effery that Glorilla was advocating in the intro video. And because we are who we are, I know some of you probably came in late. We are going to run that video one more time with feeling for those who came in late. So let me run Glorilla one more time so people can hear what she had to say.
All right, let's go.
Hey, ladies, how on you? When I'm going to call my twin, and I just want to let y'all know, be toxic for the rest of your 20s. You only get one life. Live your toxic 20s. You never get to be 20 years old, 21, 22, 23, 24, none of that ever again in your life. Be toxic, because don't get in your 30s thinking you could just go slashing tires and doing all this crazy shit. You too old for that now. You too mature. Be toxic for the rest of your 20s. And if you delusional, turn that shit up a notch. Enjoy the rest of your 20s. You only get to do this shit one time.
Yep, one time.
Yeah. Ladies, under the sound of my voice, I need you to be mindful of this very fact. And more importantly, I need you to share this message with the young ladies coming up around you. I know you don't really like to hear from men, so take the message from us, take it to the young ladies, because it needs to happen to get out there. Those of you who want to play these games in your youth, like how Glorilla is advocating, you will have similar results to Brittany Renner. And hopefully you'll be able to cope better than she does. And ladies and gents, that ain't even hyperbole. You will have similar results to Brittany Renner. When you recognize people just want you for a lash and dash, a hit and quit, a pump and dump, skeet and retreat. You will attract people for that if you look good enough. But in terms of people sticking around to be in a relationship with you and wife you, that not will happen, right?
It'll never happen. You will never live to see that happen.
And to drive home my point, because I don't want you to think that this Brittany Renner is an isolated case. Because it has been a rough year all around for the hot girls, summer chicks, and the strong, independent women who don't need no man. So, Neil, let us get together the road march of the debtor that I would have sent you earlier. And I want
Road march of the debtor.
I want you to keep them coming as I call down the list, right? No phrasing. Right? So Tracy Ellis Ross, she's 50 plus, she can't find a man and is still thirst trapping on IG while trying to redefine womanhood and marriage. Yeah. Keep her in mind when we get down the road, right? Very important.
Mhm.
Amber Rose, still very attractive at nearly 40, but got run out by a near octogenarian in Sheer. Keep them coming, Neil. Keep them coming.
Yeah.
So we got 50, nearly 40, and now they're coming down. We got Summer Walker. She's in her 20s, but with 3 children from 2 baby daddies in a partridge in a pear tree between 2021 and 2023. Let me read that again for you. 3 children from 2 pookie baby daddies between 2021 and 2023. She has already destroyed the wall. Yeah, she just lying down there under the rubble.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Lisa Ray, whom every man in our cohort remembers from the movie The Players Club. Folks, Lisa Ray is absolutely gorgeous, even in her advanced years, because she's 50 plus. She's had access to high profile men, but at 50 odd, when they say high profile, shoot, the woman married a legit president, right? I mean, might get locked up for some things, some illegal goings on, but she married a president, or prime minister, whatever he was. But at 50 odd, she has now recognized that she is at the wall. And she has finally had to admit that she wants a man, she needs a man around her, but it may be too late for her, unfortunately, because as a strong, independent woman who don't need no man, yes, I've said that several times tonight because Anita, she can't now expect to get one, at least not one that she really wants. So let's have a watch of this next clip as she tells us all about her electronics and her desires.
Let's get her electronics. Let's get it. She let radio shot. Let's get it.
I feel like I've been helping everybody else through their and then it's like, well, what about my and then they can't help me with my at all. I just want to find a companion. I know you do. I can't even go on online dating because I did that. I'm waiting for a friend to do it. Nope, that ain't working either. You know what I mean?
So you just got to be patient, Punk.
How patient more do I have to be?
God,
have you heard of the
so
rose?
funny.
You don't need the rose because you got your own internal rose.
What's the rose?
It don't work for me, but it's a vibrator.
It don't work for you.
I was trying to do it with the rabbit,
What's
and it
the
didn't work
rabbit?
either. The rabbit is like the dildo with the little tickler, and then the vibration and the motion. Like that.
I'm finna go.
No, it's supposed to be real good, right?
I don't
But see,
do those.
when I get to doing it, and I be like, oh, no, and then I stop. So I need the physical body on me.
The body.
Because that's what turns me on.
That's what turns her on. Talking to the brat, who has a woman. She good.
Brat has a partner, man. Let's keep it a start.
Yeah.
Brat has a partner. Shout out Lisa Ray, man.
Mm-hmm.
Come through, darling. Even at 50 odd, we can make that work, right? No. She's there talking to the brat and telling the brat about, the barbershop she has going at home at night. And meanwhile, Jamie Foxx has expressed his desire to get back with Katie Holmes.
Hmm.
Yeah, he used to be with Katie Holmes before. He's expressed that desire to be with her again since, going through the illness he had a few months ago. And Katie Holmes, she is a lighter complected 40-plus-year-old single mother. Yes, she is, with no BBL in sight. So we see, folks, it is not about looks. It will always be about peace for men.
Mm-hmm.
Men want and need more than physical attractiveness and sex. And the sooner women realize that, the better it will be for them when it comes to them getting the results they say they want when it comes to relationships. So ladies, are you a helpmeet? Can you be a helpmeet? Can you offer valued counsel? Right? But this is the real part of it now. I know y'all could correct Jason. She was married to the premier Turk and San Caicos, who then get locked up for some other stuff. Right. So ladies, can you offer your man valued counsel on a particular issue? But this is the real question now. Can you offer valued counsel and then cooperate with the decision your man makes, even if you disagree with it? That is the question there. Because we know you ladies can give instructions. We know this. But can you offer a suggestion and it not be accepted and you be cool with it? Can you bring peace commensurate with the covering that man gives you? These are questions you need to consider, ladies. Physical attractiveness will always get you invited to practice, but it will be these intangibles that keep you on the team, to use a basketball or sporting reference. I was having a conversation with a young lady recently, and she was saying to me that she grew up in a two-parent household where her parents were married and her father was a leader, and she wanted that kind of relationship, but it seemed to be the anomaly. And I made the point to her that as it stands now, we are so warped in our perception of things that we think a stable, loving relationship is abnormal. And being promiscuous and thotting it up is the way to live. That is where we are in 2023. It is not about a woman being able to attract and maintain a relationship with a good man who will cover her under his 4 Ps, but then put screen for me there, Neil. Yeah? It's not about that at all anymore. It's about how many men a woman can attract and subsequently rebuff. Rejecting men has now become a source of social proofing and validation for the strong, independent woman who don't need no man. Yeah, I said it one more time. And the higher quality of man she can reject, the better. What the ladies who operate like this fail to realize is that any woman can attract a man. Samora has part of her skit back in the day. Samora says, shoot, once you got a cat that ain't smelling, you could get a man, right? Most men will be willing to fall up most women like a bed sheet. So attracting a man in the hard part. And then you talk about the quality of man, because any woman can attract and then reject a scruffy ZR man. But when you can attract and then reject well-dressed and groomed doctors and lawyers, bank managers, etc., for want of a better term, high-value men, that is the real flex for the strong, independent woman who don't need no man. Like a Lori Harvey. That's why the late Lori Harvey so bad. Shoot, you could reject Future and Michael B. Jordan and all these. Girl, go on with your bad self.
Yeah. Hot girl summer.
Correct.
See the girls up.
Unfortunately, though, for many women who go this route, they will flex, because as they know flex, they will flex. Nose first. At 304 miles per hour, get that reference, into the wall.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are indeed watching the Senate podcast. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Like the content, share the content so you don't miss the content. Anyhow, Dr. Kerry, let's talk about the wall as a woman. You are 40 or above. What do you have to say about the wall? Have you ever felt, is this a tangible thing for women or a woman? Do you feel as though I'm about to hit the wall, or I've hit the wall and I'm unable to attract a man that you desire? Is there ever a feeling like that, or feeling as if you are not as competitive or in the dating marketplace as valuable?
So I personally, no, I don't feel I'm near the wall. But us as women, there's always different perceptions about the wall. And I think for some women that I've had conversations with, there are multiple walls that they come up against in their life. When we think about financially, having a baby at a certain age, getting married by a certain age, et cetera, et cetera. So I think there are multiple walls for women, depending on who you're talking to. But in the collective scheme of things, as you're describing it, I personally don't feel like I have been near the wall. But I do understand how some women could rush to experience certain things and not recognize how close the wall is when they're overextending themselves in some most inappropriate ways. So, yeah.
So you never felt like you. So would you say that women don't feel that they're close to the wall? Do they feel as if? Why do you feel like you've never been close to the wall? I guess that's the best thing to say. Have you?
It's
Because
just not in my consciousness. I don't see a end. I personally just don't see an end to attraction or attractiveness. I don't. If you're just basing it on the ability to quote unquote pull someone and to be able to have whatever type of partnership or relationship with someone, but then it fizzles out. That's one concept, right? I don't think there's an end to attraction and doing what you want to do. What there is an end to, for sure, which is what I am understanding in how you're describing things, that women do not pay attention to because we're not socialized to pay attention to, is the attraction and the ability to retain person or persons that you attract. And I think that is the part that's a bit airy-fairy, ethereal for women, because you're pretty much told, or it's just kind of the thing that, oh, you'll always get someone, right? Because men are always wanting women. So it doesn't matter if you are 60 or 22, you're always going to get someone. But no one talks about retaining said person. That's
or the quality of who you're retaining.
Or the quality of who you're retaining. Right. Yeah.
It's not to break the conversation, but Derek, your camera's still on, or is it purposely out?
Yeah, it's purposely off.
Okay, I just want to make sure. All right. Right. So the follow up to that now would be, because I find this interesting of the notion. Obviously, we men talking a lot about the wall. I don't find this to be a talking point women have, that they ever feel like they're out of the game. Shoot, we know some women personally that would have said well into their 50s that them still got a dog in the fight. They're still very competitive. Meaning that they feel that they would, like, there's a level of entitlement, I guess. Right. Can you speak to the dangers of having such an entitlement? Because you did speak just now about being able to pull a man, right? Like, certainly, like, there are some women that are very, Lisa Ray is a perfect example. She's near 60 and she look real good. She would obviously still pull a man. Brittany Renner is in her 30s. She's a very attractive young lady. She could still pull a man. Shoot, she walking but with shot, right? Hand in hand. Do you think that the delusion or no, that's a leading question, Your Honor. Strike that for the record. Do you think that the perception of self value in the dating marketplace can kind of sort of put blinders on your eyes as a woman to say, oh, I still got it, I could still retain, and not have you want to adjust that part of keeping a man? Like, you could pull a man, but can you retain it? Do you think that it would skew your vision in that?
Yeah, I think there's an expectation for some of us as women that being able to pull means that I automatically should be able to retain. And pulling and retention are two different things, right? So, people like Tracy Ellis, so you guys had her up, Amber Rose, you had her up. Those women will always pull men. They always will, right? Because Amber Rose, for instance, falls in the category of everybody wants a ride at some point, right? Considering the kind of career that she's had and who she's played around with. So she'll always pull someone. The quality of that someone is questionable. And the desire of that man to be retained by her is also questionable, right? Same thing Brittany Renner is Brittany's experiencing too. Sure, she can find someone who does the holding hands and all that kind of jazz, but does he want to be retained? So that's the other question, right? Men have standards, as I always say, and have a choice whether or not they wish to be retained by whoever they're pulling. And I think that is the part of the equation that we as women don't factor in. We just are in a space of, well, I look this way, I show up this way, you know, I woke up this way, and who I get, and getting him means that he should automatically stay because I show up like this.
Mm-hmm.
But there is work in the retention piece, and there is choice in the retention piece, because not a man has to be, you know, a man has a say whether he wants to be retained or not. So.
But let me ask Derek a question. Oh, this really is for Derek, because I find this a very interesting discussion because as you were speaking, Dr. Carey, it prompts me to ask the question of a man or of men. Derek, do you think that men are somehow to blame for enabling some of this behavior and thought process?
Most definitely. Shoot, we saw it in the clips with Brittany Renner, the fact that she was able to behave like that for the duration.
But hold on, because she behaved like how she behaved. Do you think that is enabling from the fact that she is a woman, or is that enabling from the fact that she's a celebrity, or is that enabling from the point that, you know, she looks so good or whatever? For example, the woman was grinning upon Charleston White. Charleston White might not have wanted, like, for example, if that was a less attractive woman or something like that, he'd probably be like, we don't get off of me, dog, a foreign place. You know what I mean? So I just wanted a clarification there. Do you think is an enabling from which avenue?
Right. So it's because it's a kind of a combination of all those things. Then we add in the possible cancellation because of whatever, Me Too, etc., whatever you want to call it. They enabled that behavior. They didn't check, right? Definitely because she is attractive, because as you were saying, if she was Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, that ain't gonna play in there, right?
But she wouldn't have even been on the show if she was a Humpty Dumpty.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is important to clarify, because that's why I separate celebrity versus looks. If you understand what I mean, because there are people that are celebrities are not necessarily most attractive or as attractive as Brittany Renner. So I want to be clear: if she was a celebrity,
that is pretty privileged there, playing out
the wazoo,
live in front of us, right? Because if she was not that attractive, they would rejected her from the thing. You mean? Yeah. And let me be real: them is men that invest money in the show. They got the mics, everything set up. You and they're pelting both water, kicking both things, because she did do that. Part of the thing. I didn't show that part either. She was kicking around people's stuff off the tables and stuff like that. She was acting a right fool, right? And the man encouraged it. How do we, well, not encourage it, enabled it, because it's like nobody said, yeah, you can either go to behave yourself or left, right? And we do the same thing in terms of what we accept as men when it comes to these relationships. It's like, I'm busy, so I will deal with it, you know. So then these women walk around and they think, well, yeah, I could pull a man. And yeah, men, there are men out there there was a clip of John Cena saying that he went home with a woman that weighed 285 pounds. The men in the locker room was egging he on. The man said, I can do this. And I can only do this, I can do this and enjoy it. So you got John Cena 6'4" or something like that, multi-millionaire, international star, and he decided, you know what, I can just gonna deal with this big girl. Yeah, it's not his preference. It's not what he would normally. He's not gonna wife her. He's not gonna be seen in public with her. But he goes and he deals with her anyway, just to scratch an itch or whatever. So now we got this situation where this woman is saying, I pulled John Cena. You know what I mean? I pulled John Cena. Could you retain him? No. He would be seen in public with you? No. But she for if only for one night, she had John Cena. And she could tell all she girlfriends she had John Cena for one.
And if you try to step to her and you ain't, yep. Go ahead.
The marketplace inflated. Me and you step, she know we gotta be 6'4", we at 240 pounds of muscle. You know, got a couple of millions put down, right? So you see the challenges with men saying, I can just come and I can deal with this here. And women are yet to understand sex is just sex for men a lot of times. Yes, when we have sex with women that we care about, it's an entirely different experience. But But a lot of times, man, they just want to scratch an itch. Man, it's like, yeah, I can deal with this here and they can be cool.
Yeah. You know, and just to talk a bit about, because I know some people would want to formulate the thought that, so you see how she went, and without Charleston White's consent, went grinding on him and walking up on him and saying, I'm straddling him. Meanwhile, if he had done that to her, it'd be a different situation.
Right.
But no, but you know, remember, gentlemen, women control access to sex. Women control access to sex. It just hit me, and I understand the way that double standard. That is a double standard, but there's a reason why, and there's a reason why double standards exist. Double standards don't exist because we're trying to oppress. You understand? Some
also know that he didn't touch her at all.
Man didn't touch her at all. I mean, we have been very critical of Charleston White on this channel. We actually think he's a terrible human being, right? Based on what he would have said, he's not a good guy. However, I do credit him in this instant that he made it a point not to put his hands in the air, made sure the mic was gone. He was like, you know what I mean? He making sure that can't get canceled. Maybe you could call it, maybe he don't want to be involved in that scandal or whatever. Maybe the man was trying to protect his reputation. I am not sure, but the point is that I just felt it prudent to mention that a man, like, the reason why that double standard exists is because women control access to sex. So you can't go and dry hump a woman without her consent. But that is not to say that doing something without someone's consent means you in the free and clear because you control access to sex. It won't be clear. I just was explaining it. So don't feel you could go on there and pull a man bird or whatever unsolicited, or you could go and grind up on the man or even grape the man, assault the man, and then be like, oh, but you control access to sex. You don't, so I could do it. You can't. No, that's not how that works. And saying there is still something to be said for consent. Anyhow, apart from that, I find this a very interesting situation, and there's certainly something to be said for pretty privilege, but there's also something to be said for inflated ego and delusions of grandeur. So, like, for example, there are a lot of women that do not look good by societal standard. Don't come with me with the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. That down, but that up. Come into me with that there. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Yeah, but you still following Beyonce and Rihanna and thing, right? And you looking at she has body goals. So don't come with me at that. Anyhow, there is something to be said for pretty privilege, yes, but there's something to be said for inflated ego and delusion of grandeur. So there are a lot of women, because there's this, rightly so, in an era where you should be loving yourself, loving the skin that you're in, and loving your imperfections, flaws, and all. However, you should always try to be your best self, whether it's in body, mind, and spirit. Okay? And with that said, don't look at yourself and say, I am the cat's meow. Excuse me, I am the cat's meow. All of my friends is cat's me up, and I am, I got it covered. I got it like that. And you feel as though that you can behave like this, right? Brittany Renner behaved like this because, as Derek said, she has a certain level of clout. She look a type of way, and she is a woman. A lot of women are walking around here. Sorry. Some women are walking around here believing that because they are a woman or because they are attractive or have some level of clout or shoot. And when I say attractiveness and clout, those could be bolstered. It can't even necessarily be a general thing said by society. But when you feel as though that you can behave and do and act however you feel like, that's a problem. In terms of getting a man or retaining a man, that's a very interesting thing, because I remember once upon a time there was a lady, she is in her 50s, and she was dating, she admitted that she was dating a young man. I think this young man was about 15 to 20 years her junior, right? And she said that they were in a relationship, everything was going good, relationship. And the man eventually said, you know what? I think I want to end the relationship. And she asked, why? He was like, because I would like to start a family and you're past your childbearing years. That certainly is a factor, right? That woman she probably could pull any man because she's well known, and she could pull any man. right? She can always never be alone when the night come. She may even have a string of nights over months or years, and she will never be alone. However, just understand that it ain't just enough to look good and have good got, right? At the end of the day, men want PEACE. And that PEACE can manifest itself in peace of mind, peace of family, peace of stability, piece of emotional security. It could be all of those things. And I find it interesting that since Brittany, I see Kevin asking, shout out Kevin, man. Brittany Renner. Brittany Renner is some internet Instagram woman. Not to be confused with Brittany Griner. Brittany Griner is the WNBA player that was locked up in Russia. So, anyhow.
If I got locked away.
Right? So, I want to be clear, right?
Locked up, it won't let me out.
It won't let me out. I want to be clear because a lot of women, and I have no problem. I certainly do not have a problem with you having an inflated self opinion of self and perception of self. I have no problem with that. Love yourself, believe in yourself. As lyrics say, I like myself. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Love yourself, right? Shoot, if you flaws and all, you accept who you are. You saying you ain't changing that crooked nose. You ain't trying to lose weight. You ain't, wearing, like, however you want, beat life, however you want, get through life, that's at you. But please understand that that does not entitle you to behave however you feel like with men. You understand? Too many times we see, well, I have seen women essentially threaten men and be aggressive with men, knowing full well that as they put a hand on me, I get credit the police and his career is over. Now, having said that, I've addressed the women. Gentlemen, this whole conversation is really for you, right? This whole conversation is really for us to realize that in the King's Gathering too, Derek talked about standards, men of standards. And I think it's very important that we have these standards, right? Especially when it comes to women that are gorgeous, women that are amazing physically. We ain't talking about a woman that is of average looks. We talking about a woman that we said, a woman that may say, Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? One day women, right? Please understand that when you have
She trying to be, Kevin. She trying to be.
Yeah, she trying to be. Trying real hard. Right? So the women that we know, like, she's on bread, boy. This woman looks so good, boy. This woman, and it's universally accepted that the woman look good. Please be very aware of what you're getting. We ain't telling women not to lie with these women. Because when they don't listen to women, we talk about discipline. We still want to haul and pull up. But when these women bowling a hard line at y'all, I understand, life ain't black and white. We are men too. And we understand that if Brittany Renner was the holy man in a room and we was locked in there and the woman start growing up and we the men want to get a little excited and, a little essay or a great one happen, we won't tell you that. But by the same token, please understand that every action in life has a consequence, good and bad. You lie with a Brittany Renner, and she start to flip out and get all crazy and throw water upon you and look to that on you.
Yeah, she went to an event, a true water on a fella too.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah, she did. Yeah, Dr. Carey. So if you are not willing to say, all right, see that there? Out there. And if you say, no, I can do whatever I want, what you can do, bitch, what you can do? Say, all right, sure, done, or relationship done, or whatever. Certainly we can end this here and you can leave, right? Because at the end of the day, there's something to say about integrity, peace of mind, and standards you have for yourself. Gentlemen, we have to start realizing that we cannot let people just disrespect the order because of their, certainly not because of their superficial value, right? There are certain things we just not going to allow. We have to, and it's, I understand, gentlemen, we don't get action like that. We understand the last time you would have had sex was probably when you get some jergens from my man Aston and you went on a certain illicit site and you rub out a couple. We understand. But by the same token, whenever you're approached by a gorgeous woman or when you have the opportunity with a gorgeous woman, please Be mindful of what you're getting yourself into. Because at the end of the day, you can have a child with this woman. This woman could be a blight or a barnacle on your life with a handle all the time, like she in the line for the Salvation Army. Or that woman will embarrass you as your representative, and she will destroy whatever assets and money you have ever built around you and destroy all of that. So it is important, and we are talking as two men, and certainly Dr. Carey probably has some female friends that she know like this and some gentlemen that would have gone through stuff like this. We are talking as adults that have gone through certain things and experienced certain things. I have had some women that I know I had no business dealing with, but they look good. And it used to get my dad trotting. Right? But I had no business. Derek would tell you, the bane of his existence, the curse, good and bad, is red woman. I sure Derek got some. Derek will tell you some stories because of his affinity for red women. Not saying there's anything wrong with red women, but you have to be discerning. It don't matter if they're yellow, black, or white. It don't matter the woman. You have to. It's like, I see these memes going around, right? Be careful of the circle that you have around you, or the people that cheer you on. You gotta check to see if they're cheering you on because of your success or what you could give them. All of these important and powerful things, right? And one that I love a lot is don't be afraid to cut off someone that is like hampering your development and your soul, right? Gentlemen, do not be afraid. We ain't gonna share about them memes and them things, but do not be afraid to say, you know what? You look good. It is thrown in the bedroom. Shoot, you might cook good, clean good, everything. But I am not putting up with the mental, verbal, and physical abuse. Because I know a friend of mine, had a girlfriend. The girlfriend used to cook, clean, get him on a royal service in the bedroom. But she was verbally abusive to this man. And she was emotionally abusive to this man. It wasn't overt to the sense where you would say, one may say that that's just love banter or love language, or I don't know what it's saying. But there are certain times and things that I would have seen or heard certain things. I say, brother mine, I understand she's cooked clean, she's a nice woman, and she's do this and she's do that and everything. She's get the horse from the trap. But at the end of the day, you cannot put up with the piece of mind. Cause anytime you get home and as you turn off that engine, you
yeah,
it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. And gentlemen, if you're frightened to carry this woman somewhere, and you're saying, I hope she don't open your mouth, please don't open your mouth, please don't open your mouth. You got to know, gentlemen, that ain't the horse that you should go in the race. Go ahead, Dr. Carey.
So I was gonna say, I saw a comment about how some men are operating from a space of scarcity. I think aspect. And that is a very, very dangerous space for anyone to be operating from. And I really would like, folks listening to this to really reflect on what space you're operating from, because if it is scarcity, if it is the fear of being alone, if it's the fear of not having enough sex every week type of thing, then the people that you will pull into your space are just gimmicks, for lack of a nicer phrase, I guess. But those are the short-term things, the flings, the people who are going to be asking you for the foodie calls and that kind of thing, because you're operating from a very, what I talk about in my psychology space, a very low energy, low vibration space. And so you will attract low vibration people like a Brittany, right? People who are not actively engaged in their healing journey, who are not actively engaged in deep introspection, who are not actively engaged in, pulling themselves up by the bootstraps and being disciplined about work, family life, career, whatever. And so you will attract those things. So if you keep meeting women, if the men on here keep meeting women who are the ones with the long nails and the face awnings and all of that, you're probably
brushes, man.
Right. you are probably operating from a space of low energy. And so you're pulling those people into your sphere. And it's a very real thing. Some people are like, well, Dr. Carey, what do you talk about low vibration, low energy? You need to think about how you are feeling about yourself. How are you showing up day to day? How are you thinking about certain things? I talked to Derek and Neil a lot about what they consume, right? The things you're listening to, the people that you're sitting with and having conversations, the things that you're watching. You have to protect yourself from a lot of this stuff because it will pull your vibration down and you will become part of these streets. And so you have to be careful. And it's the same thing with who you are bedding and wedding.
Ooh, Jesus. Lyrics, you little ass. But real quick, just to add on to that, because I agree with you a lot, Dr. Carey, and I remember we had a conversation where you were speaking with one of you. I think you spent time with one of your girlfriends, where she is married, happily married, in a healthy relationship, etc. And I remember you made it a point to speak on how the contrast between speaking to someone in a healthy marriage versus someone that is single or bitter in an unhappy and unhealthy marriage or relationship. And you gave me examples of the things you discuss in each space. And it's very interesting because, especially when you mention about what you consume, et cetera, et cetera. I know you always tell me, Derek myself, I remember one time you even appealed to Derek after one of the Senate shorts we recorded. So Derek, you gotta watch where you're recording, your energy low, brother. Like, I understand you gotta be discreet, but you about stroking in it now. You got go and take a minute, right? And that's important. So, we live in echo chambers now, especially in social media. We live in spaces where everyone wants to be the center of attention. Everybody feels that there's a glow up. Everybody wants eyes on them, whether in social media or in the streets, right?
Yeah.
So it is very hard now to tell people to pull back, especially when they're getting that dopamine hit and they're getting that adrenaline from that click and like and share and stuff like that on these various social media platforms. But please understand, that's why I always say, ladies, you gotta make it in your mind with your boat. Shoot, men too, make it in your mind with your boat. If you want a wife, are you a husband? If you want a husband, are you a wife? You're trying to get the bag, go to manipulate to your heart's content. If you're trying to get sex, do what you gotta do. But do not ever conflate wanting sex and wanting money and wanting clout and wanting this and wanting that to you wanting a happy and successful marriage. Right? Because yes, there are people like Brittany Renner that I just gonna cash this check. I just gonna get this bag. I'm gonna boat this. But then there are other women and other people that get into relationships thinking, oh, I love this person. I want to marry this person. I want to be happy and healthy in a relationship. I want couple goals like this celebrity couple. Because at the end of the day, you are consuming content or you are ascribing to a lifestyle in an echo chamber that has you kind of swirling closer and closer ever to the wall and licking it down. Right?
Yeah.
So it is very important to understand that it's not only about what you consume, but who you let into your life, right? And they got a lot of women out there. I could tell you this. There are a lot of women out there that got people around them that are more dangerous than anybody else outside them circle, You know what I'm saying? They got women out there that just want to see, like, and it is not an intent or it's not a conscious thing. They just don't want, like, they just thrive in misery and drama. And you can let your man sit here and carry you to Chafet. Girl, if it was you, he could afford to carry you to a QP Bistro. You can let that man, Then no, you get gasset to tell your man, I done with that. Know you're in the streets because you feel like you got a couple years left or you feel like you got some sort of pull or something like that to the streets. You got the milkshake to bring the boys to the yard, but you don't realize the milk's gone sour. All alone by your lonesome self, right? So we gotta be mindful. I think since I've started this podcast, right? I my life has changed since I've started this podcast. Not because I do this content and I really see what going on the streets. No. But for me, it has brought Derek and I were always close friends. We have always been close friends. But this has brought us a bit closer because I find us kind of talking and sharing. And this is probably since the pandemic, actually. We've been sharing and talking about life. And I was mentioning this to him on Saturday, like, it's like you measure yourself amongst the people in your circle. There is a man that carries himself a certain sort of way. There is a man that speaks a certain sort of way. There is a man that operates in a certain form of fashion when he's going about certain projects in life. So obviously we do this content together. We've probably not spent this much time around each other since we were in school, right? Because, you know, we do this content a lot. But it gives you kind of like the mirror image of, all right, I may not like how Derek, for example, there is a bald head man. Derek cut off all here. I might not like the bald head look for me, but I like how Derek's style, form of fashion and certain do's and don'ts he has for himself in terms of how he carries himself and how he approaches life. For example, Derek goes to the gym 6 days a week. He is
every striking day.
He is fully committed to making sure that his body is in fine form and condition. So with the days that I don't feel like getting up and go to the gym or I don't feel motivated, I can be like, look, at the end of the day, right? You have to be committed to a work ethic. Sometimes Derek puts it on his statuses and stuff like that on WhatsApp, some very empowering messages and quotes in terms of like motivation and dedication and commitment and just moving. So like interacting with Derek these last 2 and some years in such close proximity, it has made me say, you know what? I have to. And then, of course, I got Dr. Carey in my corner, too, who is someone that, because of, as a woman and because of certain things she would have gone through and certain things she could advise me on in terms of like the mental health aspect of things, between these two people, I know that I am in a better place than I was 2 years ago, right? And that is important. It is important to have people, and you know, Dr. Carey and Derek can tell you, I'm starting to see success in my daily life, in my everyday life, in work, in projects. Like since we have started this podcast and since I've tried to be mindful of how I move and consume content, I believe I have become a better person and a better man. So that is to tell people that at the end of the day, it is all good to live your hot girl summer. It's all good for you to believe that you can move and say and do and act and exactly that deserves an air horn, right? But it is all fine and good to say that you can move how you want and believe that you are a certain type of way and you could act a certain sort of way or anything like that, right? That is fine. But do not be out here fooling yourself that you're trying to be the best version of you when you are not doing the things to make your body, mind, and spirit the best they can be. And certainly do not come thinking that you deserve a high value man, or you deserve a husband, or you deserve a wife, or you deserve a woman to cook, clean, and submit to you when you are doing nothing in your life to make you a leader. In your, nothing. Nothing. You ain't doing nothing in your life to be a husband or a wife. Because a lot of men, it's easy for a lot of men to talk about submission, but what are you doing to be the lead for that woman? And you need, go ahead, Doc.
I was going to add to what you were just saying a while ago too. What I think an important thing to consider, and we often neglect it, is sustainability, right? I mean, the conversation is about this wall, and the wall is there because what your behaviors, your actions, your association.
Go ahead, Doc. We see it. We see you. We see you coming from afar, like the mountains over Jerusalem, man.
Those things are not sustainable, right?
Preach the congregation, man.
Those things are not sustainable. So the whole, you guys always hear me talk about the 300, right? The 300 club, Sparta, like Aru, right? Love it, right? Everybody loves Sparta. It is a contaminated environment. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable, right? We talk about all of this gallivanting and having these random outbursts on podcasts and shaking your ass and all this. It is not sustainable. People who are out here seriously doing the work and seriously thinking about quality and introspection and discipline and all of that are looking for certain things. They're looking for certain things and listening for certain things. So when you hit this wall at 30, 32, 35, 40, whatever, you're done. Like,
listen, I know a woman that hit the wall at 23. Big man. Look.
It happens. Look at Summer Walker. Summer Walker's
there you go.
But hold on.
So that's
go
why
ahead.
I drew her as a reference because she's 28. You got Tracy Ellis Ross is 50, Lisa Ray is 50, Brittany Renner is 30. Right? So you got all these women so it matters not,
Don't matter. All they got there to do is age. You got there to do is the mentality.
Right.
But you foot on the gas and get to the wall in a hurry. And a lot of them have done that because, as you said, the way they're living is not sustainable. The way Brittany Renner is living just ain't sustainable. Right?
Yeah.
And you end up nose on the wall, quick time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the wall get big get big in the windscreen.
Where is it? Yeah, I see Ramel. Ramel says the breakdown of the nuclear family is a catalyst for most of this mess, but that is another discussion, and it is a discussion that we will have on this channel.
I actually looking forward to that.
Why things are the way they are. Folks, it starts even before we start talking about family. It starts from the dating phase and coming on. We can talk about that at some point. Aston, when he saw about may operate from scarcity, enemy, even the scraps going to get eat. That's just how may operate.
Thoughts.
An unstable AG girl that just on demon time. A seaman demon. Shut up the Crimson Cure for that one.
That's
Aston says keep far from them, use the hub, keep to yourself. Your hand doesn't ask for child support. Get yourself together. Pay a professional for her time. Keep it pushing. If your hand doesn't suffice, because these ones that walk in boat, you're better off sticking it in an ant's nest. Ramel says nothing good happens when you get him with a Kardashian, bro. They have an impressive list of celebrities and athletes who have fallen from grace in one way or the other. I saw a pic floating around the other day that talked about Team Jenner and Team something or the other. And they literally had enough athletes to put together and make it was impressive in its depravity.
But it's also important to note that there is a before these athletes got with the Kardashians or the Jenners or whatever, or these rappers and actors, and after. Shoot, even Chris Humphries was coming along and he might had a little success there. So, yep. And he might get without Tristan Thompson. He gonna treat it as poor Lamar Odom. He was in the blender. Like Reggie Bush. I remember before Reggie Bush with the Saints, Reggie Bush was a monster. Running back, safety return, call that punt returner. When he mind Kardashian hole, he boy. Reggie, next thing you know, you see he might covering high school football and thing.
And you see, these are the things. So this is what I'm saying about paying attention. You have to be very discerning. We talk about being discerning a lot on this channel. And this is what I'm saying. This low vibration thing dresses up real nice. It look good, smell good, walk good, talk good, right? But it will pull you down. And all those guys you're mentioning, where are they now? What I'm doing now? They were at the top of their games.
Yeah.
And gone and mess up with voodoo punani. And here we are.
Yeah. It just shows how the energy works.
Possessed pussy, man.
Aston is here saying all them saying is you should have jerked before you went. Post-nut clarity prevents so much. Big up Moxie, man. Moxie tell you that masturbation improves decision making for men by 75%. So
at least
keep that in mind, gentlemen. Yeah. Neil. Oh yes, I don't remember the comment. Where is it? Because you were talking about women controlling access to sex and stuff like that. And Aston made an extremely profound and poignant point. Yes. No. Because then you are suggesting that male rape isn't a thing.
Right.
If you go down that line of thought.
Right.
And then I sent you guys a video that I want us to have a look at. And let's have a watch of that video and come back.
All right. You got it right, Doc? You saying it, Doc, right? All right. Let's get it in 3, 2, 1. You know, we've been talking about that. Look, I feel like we was talking about this here 20 years ago, right? Where, Kadooment Day, crop over there, carnival, whatever. You have young boys out there, everybody walking out, everybody enjoying themselves. But then in comes a grown woman walking up on the man, and everybody's encouraging this young boy to dagger down the woman, right? And, yes, Aston, you're right, because when I was making my comment about the double standard, I was just explaining it, but you are right, and I did say, at the end of the day, because you control access to something does not mean it gives you the right to abuse it and to use it, right? Because you're no different than a lot of the men that have been held with the Me Too movement. Because you're essentially saying, I can coerce you, groom you, or even full outright take what I want from you because I am a woman. Because I have the ability to control access to sex. That no different than some of the top powerful men that decide, well, if you want a part in a movie, go lie down on this couch and text saying. You understand me? There's no different there. And I find it interesting that a video like that, shoot, the little man was there like, nah, I good, fam. Yo, I good.
Yeah, more says than she.
And she pulling that young man to dance on her because at the end of the day, children should be children. So, yes, Aston.
She was so ashamed of herself. She should have been locked up.
And that is very similar. We saw that earlier tonight with Brittany Renner in studio with Charleston White. It's just that he's a big man, so it hits different. But when you see it with a little boy, it's the same thing.
But also note too, when she was throwing about the water, she poured water for the man and everything like that. What she was saying that these men soft. Cause the men in.
Oh yeah.
The men in. Charleston White.
But she didn't even rest out when she went to show with Andrew Tate.
Because I'm so glad you brought it up, my man. All right, I'm glad you brought it up. You know why? Because there's a respect factor for certain things. Let us be clear with certain things, gentlemen. Women tell you exactly what they think of you by their behavior and their antics and the things that they wear. For example, a woman would come around you with the what Dr. Carey just called them now, the eyelashes. We just call them now, the umbrellas.
Face awnings.
The awnings, right? She would come with the awnings, the long nails, the attire, inappropriate wear, etc., the ratchet, raw behavior, etc., right? She would bring that to you, and you got to accept that flaws and all, because that is what she thinks of you. You have no choice but to take it. If I behave however I want, that's that. You ain't gonna tell me nothing. Now, how dare you tell me nothing? Because if you tell me something, I could go to social media or I could met bad for you or whatever, right? But gentlemen, please understand that if you held yourself to a certain standard, if you moved a certain type of way, if you spoke a certain sort of way, you say certain things, not necessarily, I don't believe in telling a woman what to wear or what not to wear. No, I fully believe that you could wear what you want. You could behave how you want. You could act how you want. Just know that I ain't in the picture. Right?
Hold on. But before you even move that way, this again, it goes back to how you are perceiving yourself and your own energy. Some men will tell you they don't even know women who wear that kind of stuff. I'm telling you right now, there are guys I know. Right, there you go. There are men I know who have never, when I say about face brooms and these face awnings, they're like, Carrie, what are you even talking about? I'm like, you've never seen these women with these lashes? They're like, nope. Those women don't even come into their world.
And even if they don't, space. And they don't even see them in passing, right? Because it's just
listen to me. When I'm telling you that it is not in passing, it is not in neighborhood, it is just not in their sphere. And it is important to think about the type of movement a man is making when those types of women are just nowhere near to be found. That's a high level of movement. Right? So when we're talking, Derek said it earlier, that's important to think about the quality, not the quantity. You can get quantity anywhere, anytime. But the quality of what you're getting and the quality of the spaces you're moving in determines so much for a man in terms of his peace without being in a relationship. Because men can be at peace without being in a relationship, right?
Yeah, man.
So I think it's important. I agree with Derek on emphasizing quality of spaces and engagement and interaction and all of that, because that has a very big thing to say about a man's peace before he then engages a woman, but a certain type of woman, to become an extension of peace and peace. So
yes, folks, it is 26 minutes past the hour of 9 in Barbados and the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. We're talking about standards, and one place we had standards was at the King's Gathering, the second edition. We had a grand old time over there, and those of you who missed it, tough noogies. But you're fortunate in that the third edition will take place on November 19th.
Oh, before my birthday.
Yeah, November 19th. That is International Men's Day. So we're going to try to do it on a certain way, on a certain level, so that we can come out and have share a real celebration of men in that particular space and on that day. So again, as Dr. Kerry said, it was about standards. Men having a certain standard. There were no paint brushes on the eyes or anything like that at the King's Gathering from the ladies. The ladies came out before I died and laid to the side, dressed to impress, and the gentlemen were suited and booted and looking good. And what we have done, folks, we have put together a nice slideshow for you all. Those of you who would have missed it, we have a nice slideshow that would kind of bring together some of the moments, a few moments, not all, few moments from the King's Gathering that we had a couple of weeks ago. For those of you who missed it, and we want to share this with you as we get out of here. So as we get out of here, folks, please remember, Neil, Dr. Kerry, and I, we don't make up the rules. We just make sure you know where they are. You can ignore reality all you want, but you cannot ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. Be the best version of you for you. We are going to see you guys again soon. We got some shorts coming tomorrow, I believe, Neil. Yeah,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we got some wellness queued up as usual.
That's per normal.
And as you head out into these dating streets, please remember, we can see you guys later. Enjoy the slideshow. We hope to see you guys at the third edition of the King's Gathering, where we build men up to that quality and that standard that Dr. Kerry was talking about.
Yeah, man. All right. Peace and love here.